Everybody, I want to talk about tonight about math and the fact that I cannot do it anymore.
I never could. So
Yeah. No, but honest to God, seriously, 25 different channels across 5 different brands and giving a lot of empathy to others is really going to be the focus of tonight's podcast.
okay.
Not boring, not fun, but kind of overwhelming sometimes. So I think we're going to have to go in and maybe have a nightcap or something after this one.
Sounds good to me.
Roll the intro. So the big question is this. How are leaders like you that recognize people and technology are the backbone of the company they're building continue to make progress when they have no clear idea on how to develop individuals and utilize technology in a way that helps them remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is Tom and Michaela, and welcome to the Heart and Hustle Podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Heart and Hustle Podcast. We talked about this in the intro a little bit, but I am overwhelmed.
I am overwhelmed.
I am simply overwhelmed.
I am completely overwhelmed.
Have you ever started a project in life in which you thought it sounded like a wonderful idea, and then kind of like raising kids, but you're kind of, this thing's born and it's running, and then all of a sudden it's just like, crap, what did I get myself into?
Yes. Over and over and over again, I find myself in that position.
Are you referring to the same thing I think you're referring to?
You can take it any way you want to.
Thank you. I usually do.
Yeah, you do.
I love you so much. Anyways, recently in our building, we had some new window
Decals.
Decal signage done on 5 walls on 5 windows on the 9th Street side of our building, and many windows on the Q Street side of our building. We're kind of on a corner of 9th and Q inside of our city. Mm-hmm. And we had this great idea of why not put all of our social media channels on there? Not only for me personally, or you and your brand, or your up and coming brand of what you're trying to develop personally, but, and you laugh. Go follow her on, right here, the link below her, where it says all of her channels. Go follow each and every one and post a comment. Let's get this thing rocking. But also for Soaring Group and Jason's Heart and Hustle. And so there's 5 brands out here which we're developing right now, and all have different meaning and different places in our hearts right now. Yes. And different stages. Soaring Group it's been around, for a quick minute, 5-6 years now, and I've been at the helm of it for that long, and if not longer, as it compares to a lot of our clients. And so that is a very stable, strong organization. We have a brand new nonprofit, Jason's Heart, and that started in December of this year, which we work with a lot of people coming out of incarceration and or rehab, and trying to give them job skills, and as it relates to IT and media. We have Heart and Hustle, this podcast, which we're trying to do, doing, I think, decently well at it for, for the first season, here. We're not doing too bad.
Well, we're learning.
We're learning.
We're growing. We're trying to figure out the method to the madness here. We
have my personal brand, which is I'm trying to grow as well, and your personal brand, which we're trying to grow as well. So if you can imagine, we have these 5 windows with all these channels. I mean, everything from YouTube to Facebook to Instagram to TikTok to Twitter to Spotify on some of them, and across all different channels. So there's essentially 25. 5 times 5 is 25.
5
Good.
times 5 is 25.
I think a tutor career comes on a Wednesday, right?
Wednesday.
Jordan?
You can meet with them.
I should meet with her. Anyways, 25 different channels, and I gave the team a goal to post up to 2 or 3 times a day across each one of them. That's 75 posts a day.
I think our team is overwhelmed by that.
I think they were overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, even
I can see Victoria here nodding yes right now, we're overwhelmed.
It's a lot. We have a lot going on, but
It's a lot, but the issue is right now with me is how do we switch? Because each brand is so different. I mean, each brand is so unique. I mean, Soren Group is this professional services company, and you kind of put your HR hat on, where you become HR Michaela, or I put my CIO hat on, where I'm CIO Tom, and we have very business oriented, focused conversations.
we do.
And a lot of them are super private. A lot of them are super obviously confidential. It's a very fun environment, but yet it's a normal business services, boring / normal company.
Yes.
It's all that it is. And
That's all that it is.
and Heart and Hustle was meant to be more in the lives of both Michaela and myself.
Right.
And it's not necessarily meant to be solely focused on HR. It's not meant to be solely focused on IT, but we've been struggling a lot with content over how much of our personal lives do we dive into,
how much of our business lives do we dive into?
how much of the business lives do we dive into. We have Michaela's personal brand out there, which, that's kind of being developed and worked on, and kind of what that really means.
I've never posted anything in my life until I started posting for Soren Group.
No, until you start posting for yourself.
Until I started posting for myself.
And I have my personal brand, which is really just sometimes antics and junk and me trying to get, work on my blue steel eyes. Love Zoolander. And we have Jason's Heart and how that really kind of impacts of what we're trying to do, and this conflict that we're dealing with right now with Jason's Heart. And it is my heart and my passion to make this thing work, to grow. We just hired our first employee. She starts on Wednesday. She's the program director, and she's going to be literally the cement to hold this thing together and to bring everything to fruition. She's a highly experienced, highly dedicated professional. She's a freaking rock star. I think she's going to do wonderful with it. And she's going to be the person to really put the framework behind there.
Right.
But the folks that we work with on that organization are, like I said earlier, coming out of incarceration or rehab. And so, we like to have fun, and we like to talk about a margarita here and there, or we like to post TikToks of fun stuff. So go follow us and see it. But it's this pulling from opposite directions. How do we have fun? And what we figured is something that is, unique in what we do with Heart and Hustle and us personally. But yet we have this nonprofit that we run that is super serious about getting people, back into re-entry into the workforce as it relates to IT and media, and throwing what I consider a lot of money behind it, and having, 8 corporate sponsors even at this time, and, 4 endorsed local providers, along with an EAP and therapists that are standing behind this organization right now, but yet having to deal with the personal side of us, and not having everything bleed together, but yet still have this environment that is fun.
Well, yeah, and that's I think where we're struggling, is because we are dealing with some pretty serious issues all across the board.
We are.
I mean, in our personal lives, in IT, in HR, in Jason's Heart, we're dealing with some serious issued
And this isn't serious, everybody has serious issues. This is real life stuff. We're not allowed by the courts to talk about certain things or certain items, but we want to, and we want to slip everything in if we could, but we just can't. And we're talking about serious.
But the court's not on a business front.
No, but that pertains to the Heart and Hustle side.
It does.
I would love to talk about our 10 kids, 5 and 5, 10 children between the two of us that have come together in this massively huge family from, the ages of 27, 26.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Down to now 5. I mean, it's a big spread. And we want to talk more about these wonderful children and people that we see every day and that we interact with, and how we are raising them and being with them and supporting them. But there's some things we just can't talk about either. So
Well, and then you have, just in our professional lives, you have massive confidentiality issues, but it's so like consuming to what we do, and it's like, how do you build that brand and yet remain professional, yet remain relevant and remain interesting? Because some of the stuff we talk about really is not all that interesting.
I don't know if I think you can remain relevant. I mean, I think that's easy. Professional, I think it depends. I mean, I'm a very professional yet unprofessional person. I mean, look at us.
That's
I mean,
the thing. I mean, we're very professional yet unprofessional people. Like the way we go about a lot of things is not how the typical industry necessarily would.
No, we do go against the grain as it pertains to the industry in both of our worlds, I think on a professional level.
Yeah.
I think we do, because I think if I was Mr. Corporate and I put my real CIO hat on there, I think it'd be a little bit different, I think, compared to what we do now. But I also know that there's a lot of, costs and a lot of opinions and a lot of things that I do keep to myself. Based on the business at hand. And I think you're the same way.
Well, there's a ton. We have to.
Yeah.
So.
And I think you go against the norm over normal, what I would consider HR practice, compared to what you actually believe and give advice on. Right or wrong.
And that goes both ways.
It does.
I mean, there are things that I go with the industry norm on because that's what the industry norm says.
Well, I think it's tilting more towards legal at that point.
I might not necessarily agree with it, but there's also the whole flip side of it where I do go against the norm because
it's your belief.
You're not dealing with processes and procedures. You're dealing with human beings, and you can't take every human situation and put it in the box and make it fit. It just doesn't work.
I know. And every human is obviously different. Everybody has. I mean, you were talking to me today where, and I don't want to go personal on you, and I know you didn't want to go here today, but, your father recently got into what I would consider a decently bad motorcycle accident.
Very bad. Yeah.
And up in South Dakota. And, he's an avid rider, but he got in an accident and he walked away with 2 sprained thumbs. But your stepmother is in the hospital, intensive care, and going to live, but not doing the best right now. And you've shared this with maybe a half a dozen people that are close to you, that that are not family, and you have not once received a, hey, how's your dad doing? Or how's your mom doing? How are the people that you love, how are they doing? Mm-hmm. Not one time. Mm-hmm. And so, when you deal with that and you deal with the empathy side of things and, not changing the subject, not trying to go off kilter here, but you're trying to deal with that personal side of your relationship where you're inside this corporate entity and you're sharing life stories of like real things that are happening to you right now. And you literally sat down and said, hey, I just had this multiple meetings of, internal stuff and having to break 3, 4, 5, 6 times because you're getting calls from your brother, your dad from the emergency room, and people know this, but yet there's still no, hey, how's your dad doing? Mm-hmm. How's your mom doing?
And I think to tie that back to the whole social media thing, I think that's why like social media in and of itself is super difficult for me because I'm a naturally very private person.
You are.
And so for me to put myself out there in any way, shape, or form, professionally, personally, anything is very intimidating and it's very scary to me.
Well,
it is.
We went to the office tonight and you were driving, of course, and not of course, but you were driving. I was doing something on my phone. I kind of learned that in life where if you have somebody drive for you, you can actually focus.
You can get a lot of work done.
You can get a lot of work done. And in the past, I've made the mistake of using my phone probably too much when I'm driving, having my laptop in my lap, flying down the interstate at 90 miles an hour, and it's not safe.
No,
Picture
it's not.
below. But anyways, whoops.
It's not safe.
But where was I? But as as you're doing this, trying to post, you're trying to think, how much do you share about this stuff, and how much do you contribute? And what I had said in the car ride there is I said, social media goes one of two directions. It's either you're going to be all in, like all in. And I don't care about the stats. I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about, if you're only supposed to post once a week or twice a week at 10 a.m. It really doesn't matter. If you're not all in posting a considerable amount of content every day, especially on platforms like TikTok, where there's a billion freaking views or whatever they are a day, you're never, ever, ever going to be relevant. So you might as well just stop. Just stop what you're doing, because you're only going to be doing it to satisfy your own internal need, in my opinion.
But we live in a time where you have to use social media.
You don't have to use social media. Right now, I could not, we as a company, as it pertains to Jason's Heart, and I believe as it pertains into Soaring Group, we could survive without having any social media channels.
Oh, we totally could, and we have thus far. However, if you say you're a social media company, you better have some social media out there.
That is correct. You got to have a media. And so there's a lot of these media agencies out there that really don't have a lot of media themselves, because they're too busy really posting for the customers and the content and creating content for the people that they do work with. And I agree, we to some extent do fall into there, but there becomes that point of is too much, or is not enough. And I firmly believe is that if you're not all in on media channels, now that there's 25 icons sitting below all these windows inside of our facility, you've got to have content on everything. And I think getting over the being scared or being embarrassed or not having enough to say is everybody has things to say. I mean, you're a very lovely person, and you have a tremendous amount of knowledge and thoughts, and I love every aspect of it, and you teach me a lot. But we don't talk about a lot of that outside of what you and I do, or what you do with customers, or what I hear you with clients. And same thing here. You hear me on the phone. I mean, if you guys could see my Verizon bill every month, I kid you not.
It's astronomical how many phone calls you get.
I think
day.
I hit on average about 4,000 minutes a month right now on my cell phone. Yeah. 4,000 minutes a month, Victoria, do the math right here. 4,000 minutes a month is equal to how many hours? But I literally spend about 4,000 minutes a month on the phone talking with people.
I remember one time we were driving to Colorado just to get away and work from there, just for kind of a reprieve. Yeah. And on the way there, I was driving again, so you could work. I was driving, and I think we counted, you got 42 phone calls in a 6-hour period.
I remember it was 47 phone calls in a 6-hour period from the time we left Lincoln to when we hit the Youngsfield exit in Denver right before you head to the mountains. We got gas, and it was 47 calls incoming. So this wasn't like grandma called, mom called, dad called, your brother called. This was 47 calls coming in over various things, and not like something's broke. But
yeah, you're supposed to find time to put things on media channels, 5 different media channels every day.
And the only way I think you can successfully do it to build your brand, and I encourage everybody to build their own brand, is really to have, go back to the Truman Show, back with Jim Carrey back in the day, but to have somebody follow you, to record you, to edit what you're doing. And right now with Soren, we're working on that same channel, that vlog, and tonight I reviewed what the current one was, and it's like, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to have a proper vlog where it ties into day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. You have the typical music. It tells a story. I've always been a fan in whenever you're posting out to social media, whether it's whatever channel, you're telling a story. It's not about telling a posting to posting. You're trying to tell the story of what you're trying to do. And that's hard to do, and it's very difficult to think about this stuff.
It's very difficult. I mean, you have to have a really good understanding of what it is you do.
That's right.
And what your end goal is, and
is it more followers? Is your goal to have the demographic of 20 to 30-year-old followers that like you to do weird Russian pop? That was a good TikTok we did today. It was really kind of funny. See my, anyways, link below or show the picture of Victoria.
gonna do with all that junk inside?
But, you know, we have a lot of fun doing that. But, you know, I think for you and I, when we do that, we're not doing it for the benefit of audience or views or likes or shares. We're doing it for fun. I mean, I think both of our 12-year-olds, we have two 12-year-olds, you know, her 12-year-old, my 12-year-old, that they were like embarrassed as F.
They had fun, but they called it cringy.
They called it cringy.
But they had fun.
I mean,
but it was cringy.
Who likes to see the mid 40-year-old mother being kind of sultry in this dance, doing this thing, and
sultry is not the word I would
you know,
use,
the barely 50-year-old guy in the backseat of a car bouncing.
Showing his junk in the trunk.
Yeah, I mean,
Cringy.
You know, but it was cringy, but yet it's fun. So it's more fun in therapy, I think, for you and I to play and have fun like that. But at the same time, it builds brand. So it's like we're not being forced to do it. We're enjoying ourselves while we're doing it. And to me, that's the key.
Yeah.
Did you feel forced?
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
About the TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, I did not.
Okay.
But I mean, the whole thing is new to me because, like I said, I didn't post anything in my life. The only reason I got on Facebook ever to begin with years ago is because my junior high children were getting on Facebook, and I'm like, I need to know what they're doing.
But that's the same reason your grandma Marlene got on Facebook, is because her 40-year-old granddaughter was on Facebook. And she wanted to follow you and also the junior high children that
Probably
you were.
too.
Yeah.
But the point is, that's the only reason I ever did it. And it's the only reason I remained doing it was to stalk other people until the last 3 months.
Did you ever stalk me?
Maybe.
Damn. Not damn, I guess that's good. But yeah, but I think you could quit tomorrow if you had to.
In a heartbeat. If I were not to post one more thing ever again in my life, it would not break my heart.
No, but likelihood, it wouldn't break your heart if the platform changed and went to something else tomorrow. Like if Facebook and TikTok went away tomorrow. Which it
will in 20 minutes. Just as soon as I learn how to use it, it's going to change.
And that's okay because you're going to get the experience. I mean, look at the one we did today where we had to splice the video, edit the video, and get the music and get it synced up with your lips and how you're doing it. I mean, it takes some time. This isn't like easy. And so all your freaking adults out there, or your dads and moms and grandmas and grandpas that think your kids wasting all this time on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, the ones that are producing video, it takes some freaking work, and they have to try, and they have to edit, and they're using their heads, and they're trying to process. I mean,
and half their time they're wasting their time.
They are, but they're creating those skills and they're able to do that. And that goes back into Jason's heart is those are the skills in which we're going to be training and teaching people on inside the media side of that nonprofit. Mm-hmm. So think about that for a second. We are basically ridiculing, all the kids because they're wasting too much time on this junk that's not going to get them anywhere in life. But yet Jason's heart on the media side of the company focused on people that are coming out of incarceration and or coming out of rehab that really haven't had access to technology. They're just kind of getting back into this world. We're training them on how to do it. So you can't go to work, training one subset of individuals, but yet ridiculing another when you get home at night because they're spending too much time on this platform. When you're training them for a career in this platform.
There's a difference between training for a career and not getting your homework done as a 12-year-old because you're too busy dancing to TikTok.
100%. But
that being said,
or you can play Chutes and Ladders all day freaking long too. What are you going to do?
Same difference, yeah. I'm super impressed with what these kids are learning and what they know and the creativity that it takes, because it takes a ton of creativity to post on these platforms.
Yep.
And on the flip hand side, it's super scary, and you super have to be careful about what 12-year-olds are doing out there on social media, because there's a lot of crap out there.
We're not going to get into that because both of us as parents, both of our 12-year-olds have been subject to TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is, Snapchat mostly, and dancing to music that they have no idea what the words are. They're not even listening to the words, but it's obviously not good.
Not good.
Some are quite funny, some are quite viral, but not good when it comes in terms of a 12-year-old's personality and what they should or should not be doing on those channels.
Or a 40-something-year-old personality. Like, some of that stuff is just raunchy. Like, some of those TikToks are nasty.
It is.
And that's why some people are of the mindset, well, if you have a business, you shouldn't be on TikTok. You shouldn't be using
Bullshit.
TikTok for your business.
Nope.
Some people have that philosophy.
No. And I've been following more and more business accounts, like Evan the counselor. I've been actually communicating with him online a little bit. I actually invited him to our podcast.
He's been actually really fun.
He
to
has.
watch.
And we did something the other day, and it was completely just ad hoc. We were just messing around with the guy online, and he thanked us afterwards for the duet, and it was quite funny. But as I heard him talking, I was doing things that was causing me to do certain things that was, what's the
Contrary
word?
to what he was talking about.
It was completely contrary to what he's talking about. So he was saying, based on the addiction of this or this and that, and I'm sitting there pretending, okay, I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to, just be funny about it, I guess. And I felt like it was it's gotten 3,000 views or whatever it was over the past couple of days here, but it's been interesting.
But I'm super excited to talk to him, because how much does what he have to say online tie into what we're
what
doing?
he has to say.
Tie into everything we're doing with Jason's Heart.
Right.
So
I don't know. Give me your thoughts and opinions of what you think about all these channels, social media. Should businesses have all these channels they should be posting out to? Are they relevant at that point in time? Not to say you can't make money, but do you lose your relevancy inside the marketplace if you're not keeping up to date on these channels? I'm on the fence. I know personally it wouldn't matter, but I know the reality is, for my legacy and everything else that we're trying to create here, it's going to matter a ton. So, and you got to keep posting every day and got to keep pushing.
Yep.
So before we head off today, give me your 2 wins this week. The 2 wins this past week that you had that you felt like, you know what, I did well this week.
I feel like I made some huge headway with one of the clients that I'm working with. And I feel like
a breakthrough on their part?
Ish, yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Great for them.
And I feel like we've come a long way with our new building, and I feel like we can kind of do the next thing. The next thing.
Yeah, what is that? I got some ideas.
Yeah, we have a lot of next things.
Yeah. Anyways.
How about you?
Oh, geez, I was just going to sign off there.
Gotcha.
For me, I had a couple really, really good wins this week. The team is working on some very large projects with a tremendous amount of law enforcement vehicles in one of the counties that we work with, and we were having some really big struggles with the vendor. So hint to anybody that's doing it, if you threaten that you're going to cancel a multi-million-dollar contract within a matter of 48 hours, and you have the ability and the tenacity to actually say it and do it and run through with it, they move pretty fast. So yes, we made the move. Project is done. Having some final wrap-ups tomorrow on that one. And last but not least, we had not a major, but some of an outage this week. And our IT services director, he was able to, follow the process through and through and recover 100% of the data, get everything back within, I would consider minutes, but bandwidth and technical type and downloading and stuff like that, it took about an hour and a half. But everything was done and everything was restored within no amount of time. So, when you go through the exercises and you spend your days and nights just up worrying about this kind of stuff, and when the stuff does actually happen, and it will, it makes you feel really good that you can honestly say you have your clients back at all times. So for me, that was big couple wins. So kudos to the team, Mr. Ben Maston. Ding, there he is right there. He's a cute little boy, isn't he? By the way, this is a picture of him, I think at 18 years old, with his 87 Firebird that had, kind of a wimpy V6 in it, but the boy was in love with it. So he was a cute kid, I guess. Anyways, thanks for joining, everybody. Leave questions, comments down below. We want to answer them. We are going to be inviting some people onto this podcast for interviews here pretty darn quickly. Kind of start that process as well, to kind of get some feedback from them, because not that we're not boring or not fun, but we do enjoy talking to others too. So catch you guys later. Good luck and have a safe week, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.